What up? It's your boy Wall Street, and today I have a message about food because I love food. I love food more than the next man, and I've always been that way. Ever since I was a baby, my mom used to put my chicken and stars in the microwave, and I would see it, and I would start crying until she would give it to me. And I'm much older now, but I still do the same thing. I cry if I don't get my food on time. So what I want to talk about, though, is that good food is essential for a good life. And I say this because obviously most people think, you need to eat nutritious foods and have a healthy diet because it's good for your body, but it's also very good for your brain, right? And the way we perceive life and the way we move through life is very, indicative of our mental health. It's essentially a reflection of our mental health and our perspective. And we're able to think about things more clearly and have a better handle on our emotions if we have a nutritious and balanced diet, right? So I want to talk about that because if you're a type of person, and I used to be like this too, eating junk food and, fast food, going to McDonald's, going to In-N-Out Burger, eat fast food all the time. And like some fast food places are a little bit healthier than others. I do think In-N-Out is probably healthier than McDonald's. But like if you're going to McDonald's, you're going to Taco Bell, you're going to, any of these places, right? And I eat there, I treat myself from time to time. But what I try to do now is I try to eat foods that are a little bit less processed. I try to eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, and a lot of protein, right? And your brain is a muscle, just like, the muscles in your arms or your legs. And, you need good food with high protein content, high concentration of vitamins and minerals to really function at its best. Your brain needs that to function at its best. So I just wanted to say, you can also save a lot of money by eating at home, right? I make a lot of my meals at home now because it's, number one, cost effective, and two, it's typically healthier, right? There's less stuff going into it. You get to control what you're putting into it in terms of seasoning, in terms of additives, things like that, right? And I like to eat pretty simple meals, right? I'm a pretty simple guy. I eat eggs in the morning. I'll have bacon here and there sometimes. That's more of a treat, though. I definitely have eggs. I have eggs. I have avocado. For lunch, I'll have salmon. Maybe I'll cook some ground beef. Maybe I'll cook some chicken. You can get, cut up chicken tenders that are raw, chicken thighs. Those are pretty, inexpensive. And I understand, things just constantly are getting more and more expensive. But anytime that you can, get more nutritious foods and it's not going to be more expensive than you already eating out, it's a good thing, right? And I try to have a balanced meal whenever I, am having food. Like I've said this before, I love fruit, I love vegetables. So when I, make a meal, I typically, let's say I have a meat, right? And, I can't speak for people that are vegan or vegetarian. I don't know exactly how you guys structure your meals, but I'm gonna just take you through how I do mine as a, meat eating person. So, let's say I make some chicken, right? I make some chicken. I usually cook it with a heart healthy oil, like olive oil. Make the chicken with some olive oil. Maybe I'll add a little carb in there, like some pasta, some rice. And then I'll typically have a vegetable, right? Maybe I love raw bell peppers. Big fan of that. I love celery, love carrots. I'll usually cook my chicken, in the oven, and I'll throw some onions, some shallots, some garlic in there, just give it some flavor. Also add some more nutrients from the garlic and the onions. And then, for dessert, I like to, and this is, I'm not saying dessert, because it's not really what you would think of as a dessert. I like to have something sweet, kind of after I eat, my meals, but the sweet thing that I have is fruit. So I might have an apple, Might have some blackberries, some blueberries, some raspberries. I love different kinds of fruit. I recently have been into like eating a lot of dragon fruit. Dragon fruit's pretty good. I love fruit, and there's tons of different fruits you can eat. They have a ton of different varying, nutrient contents. So, but my main point here, guys, is like, it's likely going to be cheaper for you to eat at home and buy your food from the grocery store as opposed to going to McDonald's or, a pizza place or whatever. Like, I know it's convenient. I know a lot of you guys might not necessarily, feel like you know how to cook. But frankly, I don't feel like I know how to cook that well either, or at least I didn't. And, the internet is a powerful thing, guys. Just look up like easy way to cook chicken in the oven, easy way to cook, salmon in the oven. Like, these are things that you can do, and it's relatively easy. You can cook salmon in the oven in like 15 to 20 minutes. You can cook chicken in the oven, varying on the size, or depending on the size of the chicken, it can vary from, call it 25 minutes to 35 minutes, 40 minutes, but just always double check the recipe and make sure you're cooking it right, and use a meat thermometer. Make sure it's cooked to, your satisfaction, and you're, cooking it to a healthy, consumable level. It's always important. But good food is very, very important to leading a good, healthy lifestyle. So if you guys are trying to eat better, I encourage you, just go to the grocery store, pick out some recipes online. There is a way to make healthy food tasty. You can still make, great recipes just using better ingredients, right? There's a guy, I think, I've seen him on, TikTok and Instagram and stuff. There's a couple of them too. There's one guy that I've seen. There's another lady that I've seen that does this. They'll make like imitation fast food using like healthier ingredients from the grocery store. So like I saw some lady make like McDonald's McChickens, with all from scratch at her house, and it was way healthier. She showed all the nutrition and the dietary contents, and that's my point, is that it's like, these things are good, they're easy. When you go to McDonald's, it's fun. A lot of people, if you're younger, you're probably doing that a lot. You might think that it's saving you money, but it's really not, and it's not healthy or as healthy for you as cooking at home. And you can still have delicious food at home. You can make your favorite recipes and your favorite foods. You just gotta be creative about it. So I encourage you all to go online, look up a recipe for something that you think might be good, something that might be healthier, and just take it one day at a time. If you're eating out 5 days a week, try to make it 4 to start, and start cooking one of those days that you would normally go out and eat. Right. And as you do that, I'm sure you're going to get more and more into cooking. You're going to get more and more into eating food that you make yourself, and you'll see. It's a great experience. I love cooking my own food now. I rarely eat out. I only really eat out if I'm, out and about or on my vacation or something like that. Or if I'm, during the middle of a busy work day, I just got to go get something quick. That's really it. But I just wanted to drop that knowledge for you guys. Good food is the key to a good life, and obviously there's plenty of other things that go into it, but you are what you eat. And if you're eating good food, you're going to just be way better suited to deal with life's daily challenges. And I think you'll overall be a happier, better thinking person. That's my personal opinion. So let me know what you guys think, man. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any good recipes that you like cooking. I'll certainly give them a try. And that's really it, man. Stay up, stay healthy, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.